actually that tired at the moment. I imagine at the end of it, I'm gonna be like, oh, just put me to sleep. But anyway,
Oh, lucky you.
I can sleep after the game, right? Which, incidentally, we're back into now. Wow, I've only just found the castles that Xiao Fan has put up. And where was that fight that we saw there they are. Okay, so we have a lot of paladins from from Yinghua or Love Chang out here on the left-hand side of the map, and he's going to push in. He's going to try and push into Xiaofan, and he's going to find that there's three castles that are about to bombard his pony's faces with a lot of arrows, and he's going to think, nah, I might take that fight another day. But he is going to
And
lose.
then Peter's going to come and talk to him about animal abuse.
Yeah, exactly. But he has lost a couple of paladins on the way out there, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. But what about the push on the right-hand side? It looks like it's been repelled from... Yeah, the push on the right-hand side has well and truly been repelled from Happy Happy to the extent that he's having to put up... What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of stone wall, 2 of which have been busted down. Not even stone wall, fortified wall. So it looks like that's been more or less pretty much beaten back. Whereas we do have, again on the left-hand side, Yo and Love Chang looking to try and push in against the elite Mangadai, and there's no army from Tim at the moment, which makes sense. He's still in the castle age, and he's only just getting wheelbarrow now, so his economy is going to be in a little bit of a worse shape than pretty much everyone else, I would say. 61 vills compared to... Yep, he's got the least amount of vills. Even Lix is booming ahead quite well in terms of villages.
Switching to a sling.
Yep, he is indeed. Which is, fair enough. I mean, who's he
did
going?
His job. He delayed everyone.
Yeah, he delayed 2 players, right? Which is really, really strong. It kind of reminds me of when Tyrant played Nabs, and I think it was also a Land Nomad game in 8th Wonder when he hit and trushed. I think it was Viper and Fire or something like that, and just did so much damage to their economies. And it looks like
big push on the left.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too. That's a lot of paladins backed up by some elite Mangadai. The stone walls from Mr. Yo did not come up in time, and even if they did, it would only be a matter of time before they got battered to nothing by the siege rams that are also trailing in from the purple Mongol player Xiao Fan now coming in as well. And where is Love Chang's army? Well, his paladins are being brought back from the north of the map, and his stables a little bit out of position in terms of being able to... Oh, there's all his army there. But his stables are a little bit out of position in terms of being able to deal with this amount of army in his base. But now it's going to be a Paladin and Elite Mangadai mixture versus a Siege Ram. Elite Mangadai, Paladin, and a couple of token Hussars mixed in there as well from Jeffrey at the moment.
Oh, no, it's not the Mongol player.
No.
Drat.
Which one were you looking at?
I thought there was a Mongol player with Hussars, and like how I called Hussars and stuff.
Yeah. No, it was the Persians, right? It was Jeffrey's. Yeah. But this is a huge fight, an absolutely huge fight, and Chao Fan and Jeffrey going to be able to push this back on account of the fact they have taken the hill. There is a wee hill there that Chao Fan has just parked his elite Mangadai, and he's gone ahead, and he's actually got Siege Onager. How did we miss this upgrade? Chao Fan has got Siege Onagers. Ah, I'm gutted that we missed that upgrade coming in.
He was just free booming for so long.
Yeah, exactly. He did. He had a completely uncontested boom, and now he's going to be in a really, really nice position to be able to push into the. I mean, if he can wipe through this army here with the help of Jeffrey, obviously, then it's going to look really, really dicey for Side. The rest of Side's economy is going to be absolutely gutted if this sort of front area or left area, I guess you could say, western area of their bases do fall, because that's just going to provide such an easy path.
If Love Chang gets pushed back and he loses all of his farming, then he's not going to be able to keep producing Paladin.
No, exactly. You are completely right.
I'm not sure if Lix has enough farms himself at the moment
to be able to support the sling.
Enough food.
Yeah, exactly. So if it falls down here on the left-hand side, it's going to have to come down to Feng Xin more or less to be able to push really, really heavily on the right-hand side. To be fair, he would only be pushing against one player, seeing as though Tim not really doing a heck of a lot, although he is in the Imperial Age now with Bracer, and what else is coming in for him? Elite Skirmisher, which is going to provide a nice little meat shield against any sort of elite Mangadais that do come in from Mr. Yo, who it looks like he is the player that he is deciding to... Or he was deciding to push in against Mr. Yo, but I can't really see too much of what else is going on at the moment. I can see some Chinese paladins from Tim, but I imagine those were the results of some conversions from the monks.
I would think so.
I would think so too.
Unless they're cheating.
Unless they're cheating, yeah. but I don't think the Chinese get paladins from my memory. But I want to see some huge Onaga shots. This is going to be so much fun to see. No, that's going to do absolutely nothing. But one Siege Onaga going to get...
a farm, right?
Yep,
So
I think he was.
That's worth.
That's not too bad, considering we were just talking about how the food eco of Loveching is going to be so important at the moment. So killing the farm's definitely the best thing to do. But Jeffrey and Xiao Fan just falling back to the hill that they were able to take the fight so comfortably and so decisively from before, and a lot of Siege Onaga shots coming in, and he needs to focus fire the Mangadai. Please get some big shots on the Mangadai. I want to see big shots, but no. It looks like Lovechang's going to be able to get in there and clean up those Siege Onagas quite effectively, but not before one shot comes in and takes out a few of the Mangadai there from Mr. Yo. But at the moment, it looks like that is a nice fight from Mr. Yo and Lovechang out here on the western flank, as he does manage to push back Xiao Fan and Jeffrey. Is Jeffrey switching to Hussar? Is that because he's running low on resources, or what is going on with Jeffrey at the moment?
I think they'd have to be running low on gold. They're very...
got 1400 gold. Maybe he's reserving that for trade? No, he's got... I honestly don't know what the Hussar transition is coming in for there, but it's not going to be able to stand up to the paladins that Loveching is still managing to field at the moment. And we see more elephants! There are more elephants! Center of the map where Mr. Yo and Lovechang is pushing in, there's a castle in amongst 3 siege workshops from Mr. Yo, and we can see a couple of war elephants popped out. Are they elite? Yes. They're not elite, but they have got a couple of upgrades, obviously acting as cavalry, right? Okay, what's going on the right hand side? Because we've kind of neglected this. Happy is under a little bit of pressure here. We can see paladins and elite Mangadai and siege rams coming in here from Fengshin and Mr. Yo. The elite skirmishers, obviously, from Tim. Acting as a nice meat shield from those elite Mangadai. Against those elite Mangadai, rather. But once these stone walls here from Happy break, and the paladins and cavalry units can get in amongst all of this army here from Chao Ren, skirmishers not going to do anything. To be completely honest with you, but there are a lot of siege onagas sitting behind the 4 bombard towers that the Spanish player Happy has put up there. So it should be interesting to see how that one does go on the right hand side. Just having a look at the X's real quick around the map. Yo has a castle under pressure coming in the center of the map, but his elite Mangadai are going to be able to take down that Trev nice and simply. What's going on the left hand side? Anything interesting, Robo?
They're still stymied, like they're pushing in a little bit, then running back, then pushing in, running back.
It's sort of I'm trying to think of a dance move like 1 step forward and 1 step back. I don't know though. I'm not a very good dancer, obviously. But I don't know. Something. But I still don't understand the Hussar transition. Maybe it's to try and reserve gold and just still field an army so I can get trade going a little bit more effectively, or a little bit more abundantly, I guess. But we have Siege Onaga coming in. Oh, yep.
I've got the dance.
You've got the dance?
Hokey pokey.
Ah, perfect! That's what we wanted.
Yes.
He's doing the hokey pokey. Well, they're doing the hokey pokey rather. But Siege Onaga and Drill is coming in for Mr. Yo, and if we can see some huge Siege Onaga hits on these on the Xiao Fan Elite Mangadai, that would just make my night. That would make all these drops worth it, in my opinion. Anything interesting happening on the right hand side? Well, it looks like the stone walls have completely dropped.
Of decent SO shots. They seem to be killing just as many skirms as they are held though. So.
Oh, is this out on the right hand side?
Ways.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yep, a lot of Siege Onaga bodies, I guess you could say.
Yep.
Can you compare the amount of trade for both teams? Yes, I can. Oh, crap.
Got roughly 30 trade for CR and about 50, 60 trade for Psy.
Very good. There you go, Robo bringing it home for me over there, because I don't actually know how to use this very well. This new spectator dashboard. I normally use the other one, which is a lot easier for me to cycle through them. But here we go, the Siege Onaga upgrade still coming in for Mr. Yo. Castle's under fire from Lovechang out here on the left-hand side of his base. Obviously not so important in terms of fielding military for the Persians, but in terms of defending your economy, it's going to be quite a disaster if he doesn't manage to keep them up. Well, and one goes down. Lovechang
did research Mahats.
Oh, no way. Is that what we're going to see?
Ballerinas. Maybe he does want to keep the castles.
Maybe he does want to keep the castles. You could be completely correct. I thought maybe he just made a couple of token ballerinas just for the chat, or just maybe, for SMB.
And I guess it isn't that expensive an upgrade, but
yeah.
Who
but is
knows?
still fighting down, and I guess the Hussar are also proving their worth now as well, getting in and managing to snipe off the Siege Onagers from Mr. Yo. Oh, huge shot! Oh no! No huge shot out on the left hand side between the Elite Mangadai, or on the Elite Mangadai of Mr. Yo rather, but nothing too much to be said. The hokey pokey still happening here, but it looks like Love Chang and Mr. Yo managing to push back Chao Fan and Jeffrey once again. Jeffrey sitting on just under 500 gold, so he's still looking in an okay position in terms of gold. But a bit of a we can see the ballerinas, the war elephants, about to get converted. Actually,
Oh,
Chinese monks in here are going to get converted in the middle of the map. It would seem. Yep. Two war elephants now safely under the control of Tim. What's going on the right hand side? Still a bit of a stalemate. We have some bombard towers for the Spanish coming in here as well for Feng Xin. And trade has now been set up, obviously, for both teams, as Robo was so kind to mention before. Nothing too much going on the left-hand side. A castle coming up for Xiao Fan on a hill. Really, really nice position for him. But in terms of anything else, it still doesn't look like there's been any prolific sort of pushes that we can see coming in here. Another castle
no,
coming up
it's
for Xiao
very,
Fan as well.
very steadily.
Yeah, it is indeed. So it's just going to come down to, I guess, the decision making, right? I mean, which fight to take and when,
And the trade.
and trade. Yeah, of course, both again.
Sire now to 20 trade.
20
CR
trade. Yep.
About 70. So that's significant now.
That is definitely significant.
40 trade.
I would definitely agree with that. And it looks like these castles from Xiao Ren, sorry. Yeah, well, Xiao Ren. Xiao Fan, rather. As soon as they come up, are just going to get whittled down by the couple of trebs that are firing upon them, and he's not repairing his castles, and I can only imagine that's because he doesn't have enough stone to do so. Jeffrey also on no stone, but it looks like Sai might be able to fight the long battle, and a huge Siege Onaga shot coming in on the Elite Mangadai from Xiao Ren, and another one. No, he's aware this time and gets his Mangadai the heck out of there. What's going on the right-hand side? A bit of a siege push coming in as well from Xiao Ren on the right hand side. Siege Onagas with bombard towers and a couple of trebs trying to whittle away at the bombard towers that Feng Xin has thrown up. And Siege Onaga cuts. I'm not sure whether or not these Siege Onaga cuts were intentional, but there is now a way into the trade of into the trade of Sai actually. If you look out here on the right hand side, and oh my goodness, Hussars are running in to be met with a couple of Hussars from the orange Spanish player. Feng Xin here, and a lot of skirmishes. That's a lot of elite skirmishes from the now Imperial Age player in the form of Stylix. But out here on the left-hand side, again, nothing going on. Nothing. It's the same sort of stalemate. Same sort of stalemate push. Although, actually...
Science trade is this long trader.
What's that, sorry?
Science trader compared to CR is significantly longer.
Yeah, your mic is deciding to be robotic again.
Really? Okay, GG's.
Yes. Over here on the right hand side again, we do have bombard towers from the Spanish from Feng Xin that is trying to protect the trade, but a lot of elite skirmishers now coming in, as well as halberdiers for the Xiao Ren team to try and start laying waste and wreaking havoc. laying waste and wreaking havoc to the trade of Sai. And on the left hand side, Mr. Yo and Love Cheng managing to push back this forward aggression that we saw coming in from Xiao Fan and Jeffrey. And at the moment, if they can just fall back a little bit, maybe regroup their army, claim these hills, and start launching a further attack from there, they should be in a good position. But Love Cheng is thinking, no. Let's just get this going right now. Let's get go. And he's going to start trying to whittle away at these forward military production buildings from his Xiao Ren opponents. On this left-hand side, Siege Onyx is coming in now as well for Xiao Fan, getting a couple of shots, but Mr. Yo aware to it and getting his Mangadai more or less out of the way, leaving the Paladins for Love Cheng in there to get whittled away down by the elite Mangadai from Xiao Fan, and a lot of flaring going on, and that's because there is an ugly amount of trade, a bit of trade blockage going on there for the Xiao Ren team, as we can see. What else are the flares for? Can you see?
There's a little bit of a blockage for Sai, kind of like with all the mass skirmishes and army that's running around the right hand side.
I guess the alternative is get your skirmishes out of there and lose your trade. So I guess it's okay. I mean, I'd be okay with a blocked trade as long as you actually have trade, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the trade will always get going again later on.
Yeah, exactly. I completely and utterly agree with you. Masonry coming in for licks now as well. Obviously, just to provide a little bit of a little bit more beefiness to his buildings. I feel like those game sounds are a little loud, so just turn them down somewhat. That way I can hear myself talking because everyone wants to hear my voice, obviously, and so we can hear Robo as well. But it looks like we're just going to keep switching back between the left and the right hand side, right? As far as I can
Looks
see.
like it.
It looks like it. I keep double checking just in the center of the map, looking at the mini map, and I can actually see Mr. Yo moving forward with some villages now as well. What's he going to be doing? Is he going to be doing some funny business with those villages? Clearly he will be. Is he going to be dropping a castle? Nope, he's going to go and build a mining camp with a crap ton of villages and start mining some of the gold alongside Love Chang.
All the gold you can get, apparently.
Yeah,
40
exactly.
trade cards isn't enough.
No, 40 trade cards is never enough. You need more trade cards than that. But we can see a small contingency of Elite Mangadai from... Oh, no, they were going there. From Xiao Fan. Which looks like they was going to try and move in, try and attack his opponents from another direction. Instead, he's going to run his Mangadai underneath a castle from Mr. Yo instead and take a little bit of unnecessary damage instead. But Yo is starting to push in now as well. You can see, where are we? How am I going to describe this? He's got some Elite Mangadai with some Siege Onagers pushing in against the fortified walls of Xiao Fan at the moment. Xiao Fan just has too many Mangadai. Xiao Fan does have quite a few Mangadai, but if he keeps running them underneath Yo's castle, he won't anymore. Siege Ram now coming in for Tim as well. And this left-hand side is looking quite securely in the favour of Sai now, in my opinion. What do you think, Robert?
Oh no, Sai definitely got it. They got 2 corners, 3 corners now.
Yep.
They've sort of
Yeah, exactly.
fully pushed Xiaofan off.
Yeah.
They're kind of pushing that hill area, that small
Yep.
hill in front of the castles.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm not sure if they have many siege rams running around, but once they pull up the siege to push through that mass of castles, I
Yep.
think the GG will be
Sai's going to be in a really good position. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the trade for Xiao Ren wasn't exactly booming and fantastic to begin with in terms of, trading from one end of the map to the other, right? Like you can see that the
Yeah.
market's there, underneath the shadow of that castle. So it's only going to be a hop, skip, and a jump for the Elite Mangadai or Paladins or any units from Sai, really, just to get into the trade line and absolutely wreck it. And you can see that Mr. Yo is actually already doing that now. He's got his Elite Mangadai pretty much smack bang in the middle of the trade line for Xiao Ren. And this is going to spell a really, really big problem as a couple of trade cards are going to start being whittled down by these Elite Mangadai from Mr. Yo. And at the
And the
same
problem
time...
is that with those Mangadai being like behind the fight for the castles, you need to decide, do you protect the trade or protect the castles?
Yeah, exactly. It's always a difficult kind of thing. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in that decision. Because I didn't want to have to think that. Yeah, and someone's just mentioned in the chat that Yo's cutting on the right-hand side, but it doesn't really matter because Jeffrey is calling GG as well. Oh, Yo can just cut in the trade. Okay, maybe that's what Ivik was talking about as in over here. But Yo was also pushing in a little bit on the right-hand side as well, backed up by the Siege Rams of Feng Shen and Sai taking the win. Really, really well played. Quite a strong game. I think, in my opinion, Lex was the MVP in that one. To be completely honest.
Yeah, he slowed down that
2
side
players,
so
yeah,
much.
definitely. He did so well. And yeah, it was just too strong in the end. But really, really well played. We finally got through the game. It took a little bit, but we got through the game in the end. So well played to...
And a very good game it was.
Yeah, after the many drops, but well played to Sai, who does take that game. Does. Sai takes the game. They took it. Yes.
They did, yes.
They did. So, game 4 rather. Game 4 going to Sai, which makes it 3-1 here in the Clan Masters final showdown. Losers bracket round 5 in this best of 7, which means that the series could potentially end in could potentially end in a 4-2 victory to Sai, which, as Simbicourt208 points out in the chat, means that he is going to be star rich. I don't know what star means, but I imagine it's pretty good. Yeah, I honestly don't know why that there were Hussar being flooded in from Jeffrey, because when we first noticed it, he still had like 1.4k gold, and he had a huge food bank. I'm not
I
really.
can understand checking into Hussars
Yeah,
early,
yeah,
like
definitely.
a just in case kind of thing.
Yep, but
But
making it a main constituent of your army like he did, I don't understand that at all. But
it's not like there was a ton of monks running around or something that you thought, maybe I just need Hussars.
yeah, I mean, at
Like,
least not in the start of the game, at the late stages of the game anyway.
yeah,
And I don't think it would have had anything to do with taking down any siege onagers, because at the stage that he was making Hussar, Yo
Paladin
didn't
did the
even have.
job just as well.
Yeah, exactly, and Yo didn't even have. Yes, yeah. Simba Court is saying star 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 means fucking. It's like, yeah, yeah, I know. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, Yo at that stage didn't even have siege onager anyway. When we first saw Jeffrey flooding Hussar, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it was the yeah, maybe it was well, it's definitely a contributing factor to why they lost the south side, but I'm not sure. I guess the defense from Yo and Love Chain was just too strong, so strong.
Far too strong.
Yeah, it was so good.